And some other people, I can't multitask. Hi, people over there in the chat, and hi, Deb, who apparently is in
Yeah,
the chat.
who says
Yeah.
yeah, I guess she's having problems. She's wondering if it's not open to US, her internet.
U.S.
Yeah, something about being in Canada.
Oh,
No.
probably not, but hard to say. I had a friend in Pennsylvania last week try his first Blab, and it was a disaster. And so I put one on an hour later, and he logged in and had horrible problems getting on. And after a few minutes, he did something because he wasn't focused on running the session. Shut down his computer, shut down his browser, whatever, started over, and it worked.
Ah,
What you were using before, I was just using my dictation software, and so I was really worried when I came on whether or not my microphone would work. I had a headset on when we started because I've had problems like that, but those are just microphone and camera problems that everybody has. There is if you're on Blab, there is in your address bar of your browser, there is a camera next to the star, at least in Chrome. If you're not in Chrome, start there, use Chrome. And you can click on that camera and tell it what you want to have set. And otherwise, it'll pick up settings from other things you've done. So you could have worked fine yesterday and stopped working today.
I think it picked up from I do Google Hangout or Skype, and it worked pretty quick. It's just I had to sign in and be accepted to the group or something.
Are you using
Other than that, I was fine.
for everything?
Pardon me?
Are you using the same mic and speaker and video camera?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I switch them around all day, so I have problems there. But I don't have any problems with the way their Blab works, nor has anybody else I've talked to. That's the best part about Blab. A lot more of these kind of problems in Google Hangout for people like me that switch things around and multitask and have 27 windows open. But
That's me.
Computer, I owned a computer repair business for 17 years, and I'll sum up what I've learned from that as to what to tell everybody in general, especially someone like you who is competent but not a tech. When in doubt, shut down everything, start from scratch. I still reboot my systems in times when I know the technology well enough to say this isn't going to work, but then just sometimes it does, and it's because all of the hooks in software and whatnot. Your computer's been running all day. Who knows? It could be, it could be that one nifty screensaver changer thing you installed 6 years ago, and somehow it doesn't work with the modern operating system. And every once in a while, it screws things up. When I did that back in the day, back in the 90s, I actually installed Windows fresh, wiped off everything in the machine, and installed Windows 95 about once a month. And it worked really good. And then until I did something, because back then you could install a program and it's I was in the business of installing a lot of programs, so I did. Internet, same way. The codecs, from broadcasting and whatnot, all the codecs and all the little pieces of software and the licenses that have to communicate to make this happen, they pretty well got fixed. And that's what I love about Blab. It's like the last time I felt like this was Dropbox. I was storing files on network drives and doing all sorts of helping people solve problems when they lost where that file was on their system. I was an expert at this, and then I got Dropbox. And I'm going like, oh, I don't even have to think about it anymore. I installed Dropbox and everything, and now there's other cloud solutions, but Dropbox was the one for me. It wasn't that it did something different or cheaper or faster. It was just that when you installed it, it didn't crash. It worked with everything else and just left it alone. Labs like that, the app on the phone and iPhone and iPad that I'm using have been flawless. Though I don't like some of the features. I'd much rather sit here in my little studio area and use what I have here. And so the other nifty thing is you can do any amount of Blab is to have mini cam. which is an app that then allows you to use more than one camera at a time. And it's really cool for doing screen sharing and stuff like that. So we're just getting started on it. What's great about it right now is that, how else would you and I be talking? Hey, look, somebody else.
We've got somebody else.
Hello.
Jeff Adams show. It's not just Jeff. It's the Jeff Adams show.
Correct.
Thank you for bringing a whole show with you.
The whole show. What's going on?
Going to give you some props.
I only have my Marilyn Monroe picture. That's it.
I've been doing online radio shows and video shows since 2007.
Oh wow!
So this is a pretty cool platform. Kind of pisses me off all the same, but so I got all this high tech gear in here, and now you don't need it anymore. So there you go.
Yep. I was doing teleseminars a lot about 10, 11 years ago, and I have a black box that I paid $750 for that never quite worked right, and then I got rid of landlines that would be the interface between the landline and the computer, and then I had a studio microphone, and I just started using a Blue. I still have that microphone someplace, but the interface after Vista, we won't even talk about Vista, but after Windows XP went away and there was replacements for it, was always a problem. Now, actually, with Windows 7, most of the time I can plug it in, but I moved 2 years ago and just didn't bother. I have a noise canceling headset and it's kind of okay. But we're starting up a new podcast in a couple of weeks called Limitless Influence. And
cool.
We've been recording episodes for that, and so I picked up a mic. I actually bought this microphone. Here, let's see if you can see it here. This Blue, that one right there. And
that's cool.
On my desk. Bought that on Amazon Prime Day. So I am one of the few that liked Amazon Prime Day because I saved $20.
I didn't find any merit in it.
Sucked. Amazon has all the problems of big companies trying to hang on to their ways of doing things. They're marvelous. They're innovators. They're right on the edge of everything. But I think today they just announced they've given up on the phone.
Did they?
Yeah. So Amazon Fire and that technology is working pretty good, but they've given up on making it into a phone, which it was just basically an Android phone.
Right.
Still using the operating system, but apparently they gave up on trying with the device with the carriers and you remember phone calls? We used to do those. I rarely do anything that would be called a phone call today. This setup where I'm sitting is how I do most of my talk or consultations. I use Skype and hold meetings all around the world. And if I do need to make a phone call, I use Skype to dial out. And so it works really good. What's better about Blab is it's like Skype, but it's like Skype was before Microsoft bought it. It just works.
Right.
And Blab has brought that back. And to defend Microsoft a little bit, they're big enough that they had to get along with European telco laws and all that kind of stuff. So they introduced a lot of their own problems just by buying Skype. They couldn't leave it alone. They had to mess with it. And then you got a big corporation messing with something. It's not going to come out good. They're going to make decisions that have nothing to do with the usability for you and me. So this is wonderful for that. Have you done very many Blabs, Jeff?
I just got on here like 6 or 7 days ago. So just been checking it out.
Yeah.
Debating, might do a show just for Blab. Still kicking it around, but I normally do my show on Thursdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm debating if I should stream here too, but it just seems like people want more interaction. So when I'm doing my show, I don't know if I can bring up the Blab and have people part of the show yet, because I'm running like a TriCaster in here.
Yeah, you can do the show and then lock the seats, and then when the show is over, oh, that's nifty. So when the show is over, you can unlock it and then take questions and talk to people. Even Bill Maher is doing that with Bill Maher, whatever he's called. Anyway, he's doing that after his Friday night show. There's the afterward thing where they're doing something, I think, on Hangouts. I don't know. I watched the show and he announces it, and I've never went to look at it, but he's asking people to send in tweets and emails and that sort of thing. And that's good. In
Right.
broadcasting, I expected that a lot sooner, where the audience could get involved. It seems to be, actually my favorite implementation shows what's wrong with it. Craig Ferguson doing tweets and emails, and they just made it, they made it a comedy routine, which was good there. They didn't really make it interactive.
Right.
And then, CNN with a crawl of the latest tweets, moderated or not, doesn't really matter to me. It's like, if I want to see tweets, I'll go on Twitter. CNN is behind the times because they have to then produce something to make it look like they're interacting with the audience.
Right.
So you just brought up the same problem, Jeff. You've got all that equipment. You kind of want to use all the equipment that you've got and the things that set you apart. And really what sets you apart is the experience and the talent, not it's not the technology that sets you apart. I mean,
Well, I rigged it today. I got it. So if I decided to do my show, I was thinking about doing a bit where I might go in someone else's Blab during my show live when I'm doing my show, or I can have it to where if, I stream out on my own private CDN. So if I do have anybody on the show, at least you'll hear their audio from Blab. Mm-hmm. So I can kind of hack that. But
I've seen several people do podcasts. Yesterday, I wrote a blog post on dailywarren.com, and it's the top post. I think it's still the top post today. I haven't posted today. And basically yesterday morning, I went out, I looked at Blab, I looked at something else. Somewhere along the line, I found out about a guy named Ivan. And kind of like the guy named Ivan. He looked interested. There were a lot of credentials. And, that sometimes scares me. Is he going to be approachable? Is really somebody I want to network with? And I got on Blab, and he was and so I searched for his last name, which I can't remember right now, but anyway, I searched for his last name, found references him to him being interviewed on something called the Super Smart Guy podcast. Well, that's got its own problems. Is he really the super smart guy? I listened and I liked him. So I'm going to give, yes, he's the super smart guy, but could have gone the other way. But that wasn't Ivan's program. He had a whole bunch of podcasts of his own. It was somebody else. So fast forward, it was a replay. So I fast forwarded and caught it right in the middle. And they were talking about foreign affairs or something I normally wouldn't go looking for. And of course, it included how Americans don't care about foreign affairs. I was proof. But they were saying some really smart things about how the world worked. And so I ended up subscribing to the podcast, liking Ivan and following him on Twitter, and looking at his podcast. He's got a company that is like Fiverr, but for hiring foreign service type stuff.
Oh, cool.
I guess if you need a spy in Belgrade, you can go on this site and hire them by the hour. He didn't quite say it was that, but I like thinking of it that way. And so, I highlighted this all on Twitter. I wrote a blog post. I've got some following. So they got some publicity out of it. I, of course, let them know I was linking to them. And the number one tweet on that was so good, I quoted that and followed that person too and talked about her. So 3 interesting people I met, which may or may not become a big part of my network, because they were putting their podcast on Blab. And I may be a regular. I don't listen to many podcasts all the time, so I may go back to them. I may not. Doesn't matter. That connection's been made. So I think it's good on that level. But I'd like to introduce what I came up with this morning talking to a friend. He was the guy I talked to about before that had trouble on his own Blab getting on. And he's been talking about doing another one. And today's his birthday. So I wished him a happy birthday. Tom Scott, Thom Scott. If you know him, wish him happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And so I was doing that, and he responded with something that sort of didn't make sense, and that became a joke in exchange for it's kind of weird that I was saying happy birthday, and there's 6 comments beneath the happy birthday post, but that happened. It's the truth. It's how this happened. And it dawned on me that what I really like great about Tom and some other friends like them, I'll go to some kind of an industry conference or whatever, especially the smaller ones that are a seminar in a hotel, and the speakers are speaking, and pitching their wares and selling stuff at the back of the room and all that's going on. So there's a crowd of experienced people that are hanging out in the lobby. And that's sometimes the best conversations I get. That's how I met Tom. I really got to know him. I'd met him online. And some other people. And I got thinking, those conversations are great. It's in a hotel lobby. I often will take one friend to go meet another friend, one guy that's speaking with a guy who's come to visit, and say, you ought to know this guy. They get talking. I stand around and, I'm always not at a loss for words, and, maybe stick around for a while. And other people come up and just sit there the whole time, or maybe contribute something, or maybe say something once an hour. Doesn't really matter.
Right.
And that's how I think the position for Blab is left open. It's something new, something we haven't had before. It's that cocktail party, hotel lobby kind of a conversation where some of it can be planned. I planned on being here. Jen was supposed to be here. Jeff's been just as interesting. We didn't plan it. Debbie isn't here. He wanted to be here. It doesn't matter. We're just having a conversation. And what people are listening to are hopefully the smart things we say. And if somebody wants to jump on, they can jump on and join the conversation or not. And it's kind of a free flow thing. And so the immediate thing I thought of is, well, how are you going to monetize that? How does that make money? How does that add to my business? Will that generate leads? Wait a minute. The thing I like most about going to those events are those conversations. That's the whole draw for me. It's never been about whether or not I've done business with those people. We've made deals, formed partnerships. And my favorite is introducing two friends. They form a partnership, go out and, change the world, put a dent in the universe, and, they remember me. And so because I do things like that, I quite often get somebody saying, well, gosh, what are you promoting? What do you need help with? Can I get involved with what you're doing? Because they do that for me, not because I'm offering them a quick way to monetize their mailing list,
right,
or to, push something out. And so there's still room for all of the capitalistic great things that we do. But the fun part of being in business to me is getting a odd conversation going that just lasts for a while and then it's over. I met Captain Lou. Captain Lou sells his cruises. And if he was here, he'd turn this conversation into a reason why you all need to join him on a cruise for a week and do exactly what I've been talking about. However, when I met Captain Lou, it was at some event. It was probably 9, 10 at night. We'd just come back from dinner or whatever evening event was going on. And a couple of people sitting around. We were in a hotel lobby. I sit down and talk to them. Some people came. They were around. There was a group of probably 10 people over the hours we were there. I went to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning, not exhausted because I've been talking to Captain Lou. He was so interesting. Such a great guy. And now whenever I get a chance, I want to hang out and talk to Captain Lou. I've been on a couple of cruises. The cruises that Captain Lou goes on because he's great to hang out with and he attracts more people like that. I don't like to cruise. The idea of being in a little room on a boat for a week is crazy to me. Why would anyone want to do that? I go because there's hundreds of friends there that I get to hang out with and do this. And last I checked, even with Jeff's equipment, this is probably cheaper than a cruise. Although Jeff's equipment for a single person going on one cruise might exceed that budget. That was kind of rough.
Laugh track.
I don't know. He looks pretty.
And I'm late to something I was going to go to 2 hours ago. Decided to stick around for this. I've had an enjoyable time. I'm going to jump off. If you guys want to keep on.
All right.
Talking,
nice connecting with you.
And hey, don't forget, everybody, use the tell a little bird button. Tell people that. And if you want to talk to me at Warren Whitlock, I'm always around. And I'm on Twitter and here, and love to hear from people. So let's connect.
I just followed you.
I'm going to follow you both before I leave. Bye.
Okay.
Nice.
Sounds good.
So Jen Miller, everything entertainment.
That is me. I've tried to get away from it. It ends up somehow in entertainment. So
Entertainment runs through my blood almost as much as coffee. Entertainment professional for years. CEO of Native Sun Gaming. Network our passions. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I spent 22 years in the music industry, and I still have one client, but I started this new media company last August. So we do a lot of documentary short films, music videos.
Oh, okay.
And I ventured in doing this, got all this stuff, and tried to add live streaming to what we're doing for entertainment stuff. So I'm building a lot of IPTV platforms. We're going to start a network probably, and really interested in this platform to really gain interactive stuff, you know?
Right. Yeah. And I've got a few years on you.
Yeah.
So my parents, like I said earlier in the broadcast, said they ran radio stations up and down the East Coast.
Oh, okay.
For me, I thought I was going to be a psychologist and got a full degree for that.
Nice.
But I did use it because I ended up in Hollywood, and this will date me. My start was with Al Burton on Charles in Charge.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah.
Chachi in charge, right?
Yeah. And then I've worked at Universal. I actually was one of their main casting people. And then we had the 22nd floor for about a year and a half. I was in a bad Hollywood divorce that was in all the papers. And
nice.
then went to, lasted a year and a half.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was bad, but nonetheless, stayed strong. I worked for Walter Matthau. That's between Charles in Charge and Walter Matthau. Those are the ones that people remember me most with.
Okay.
And he actually, there's a really cute story. When we did, his son is a director, and we did The Grass Harp. And when we did that film, he wanted bagels and lox every morning and donuts. It's his thing.
Nice.
Anyways, the studio sent us a wire, let us know that our budget for catering was cut in half. The first thing Walter did is send him a picture of all the donuts cut and the bagels cut in half.
Nice.
That didn't go over well. So they cut his entire budget for breakfast. Anyway, long story short, all of a sudden we're doing some filming, and I'm on set and I'm helping out in all different ways because I was like their Girl Friday. And there's cigarettes showing up. And this is a period film, but these are Marlboro cigarettes. And quite frankly, they are from that time period because they haven't changed. They're the red and white box. And I'm picking them up and throwing them in the trash. And Charlie, Walter's son, comes up to me and says, "Who's the chain smoker? I keep finding packs of cigarettes." I said, "I know. Look, I threw a bunch of them out in the trash can." And he goes, "They keep showing up." And so we continue to go through the sets and take them out and take them out and take them out. About 3 or 4 times after we've done this, Walter calls us aside. "You two, come here." And he whispers to us, "Don't mess with," and used a few words, "these cigarettes." And back then, had I realized what he was doing, he made a deal with the cigarette company way back in the 90s that they would supply money, and he was getting money by putting the Marlboro cigarettes there, which was early product placement before it became product placement. And it was just fabulous. He was buying his bagels and lox and his donuts. And matter of fact, the wrap party, we all stood there with a half a donut and our finger up. So, I took that years later in 2009 and started product placement. And a lot of the films, the indies and docs that I do have been done that way.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. There you go.
Yeah.
Inside Hollywood there.
Yeah, a little bit. So yeah, I still miss him. Matter of fact, that Marilyn, let's see if I can, the light's going to get it. That picture is an original, and that's what I got from Walter. So people know me by that one.
I miss LA a lot. I was out there for in and out. It's like Nashville's my second home, but LA was my third home because I had a music label out there with Universal. So I was out there a lot in LA, and Universal, they had Fontana Music Group, then they spun it all off and then flipped. And I was in music management for many, many years, and I got cocky and said, I'll run a record company. So I ran a record company that tore us to shreds because no one's buying music anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So Universal, yeah, it was fun times, but then it was also bad times as well. So I was like, I got to get out of this business. But I still have one client in Nashville, country artist. But other than that, it's just all new media stuff.
Yeah, I have a few connections in music. I tend to give those away type of thing. Like if somebody gets a hold of me and they're really, really good, then because they don't take unsolicited, if I call them up or I call one of my friends up at Virgin or something like that,
right?
Then I'll send it on to them and they can get in. And if it happens, it happens. And sometimes they've kicked me something back. Sometimes they haven't. But, that goes into the mentoring. And if somebody's out there with talent, I want them to get where they need to go.
Yeah. A lot of shows of the American Got Talent, American Idol, The Voice. My guy that worked over at The Voice with Mark Burnett, he's over at American Idol. That books all the pro auditions for people. They don't sit through the line. So I get a lot of artists through those systems, The Voice and American Idol, that are more professional because they're looking for those type of people. Most people on the shows are already professionals already. So
or they've been professional and now they're coming back, that kind of thing. That's usually the people that get through the fastest. And I was talking about Jackie Evanko. She had already played Vegas because she had done the USA World Showcase, and we were filming in Vegas. So to escape Hollywood and get some time off, I went to Vegas. And live there. And I still have great friends there. We still do some films. I have a couple writer friends there, authors, and then I'm still involved with some of the filming that's done there, obviously. LA, I get to a lot more. And my grandkids and all that stayed in Burbank. So, I got married to a Canadian, which is why I disappeared for a while, for 3 or 4 years. People were like, where'd she go? Where'd she go? I got married.
And this. That you should know these drops. If you marry a Canadian.
Don't make me laugh, eh?
Yes.
He's you real nice. If I didn't have puke breath, I'd kiss you.
Yep.
I got those in my instant replay.
Yeah. His I was up there. Obviously, people say to me, well, he got his green card through you. And I was like, oh, hell no. Basically, I got universal health care through him.
Good health care up there.
Yeah. And he's not hard on the eyes. He's done some professional football and bull riding, and then he married me. So that'll explain a lot.
Nice.
So, but at any rate, we were just up there. He got his hip done. And that was, it was there's a couple new sayings that they use. Yeah, bud seems to be one. And when I came back, people thought I was the Canadian, not my husband, because he doesn't pick up on it. I do.
Right.
So I parrot it. So at any rate.
So what part of Canada did you move to?
We have a home in Calgary.
Oh, okay.
So the Stampede and all that, and we visit. And then right outside of that, his parents are in Medicine Hat.
Okay.
And somewhere in between, I'm a little bit, not a lot, Blackfoot. And my people went from Pennsylvania to Canada because they didn't want to be on the res. That didn't work out for them because they're on a res now. But anyways, long time ago. And so they're the Siksika are there. And so, but I met him on the USA World Showcase. He tried to be a comedian, and he's going to hate me for saying that. But he did really great at modeling and a photography model and some acting. But, I got in his way once I married him because then people would say, your wife owes me one or something like that. And that doesn't work out well between the two of us. So we decided he'd go back to being an electrical engineer and I'd stay in the business.
There you go.
Yeah, it works.
So you're doing product placement still today or what?
I've done some product placement. The last one I did was for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
And did some with that. And then we did some a couple years ago. I still do it. I still read through scripts. Sometimes I pass it on to others. Sometimes I keep it for myself, depending if it's a pet project. I'm currently doing funding. I'm hoping on 3 films. There's a film group out there and maybe another one because I'm going back to LA in the next week or 2 to check, that they're assigning 5 films to me. And then I have distribution for independents through Warner Brothers and usually through Universal because that's where I got my start.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we have the ability, what we do at JA Creative New Media, full of stuff we do. I mean, we got a lot of gear where we can shoot films and stuff, but I'm just looking at the overall, coming from the other side of the business, I'd rather take the investment side and invest in new platforms for entertainment. Like, obviously I've been talking to a lot of IPTV developers. I have a Roku channel that I have, and I want to build, the channels for Samsung. You got on, look at that.
It only took me the whole hour. Sorry, go ahead.
What was wrong?
I couldn't connect. This just was not connecting. Anyway,
have your
continue.
You have your webcam plugged in.
Oh yeah, Roxanne's been walking me through it, and we've been going through this for an hour. It just like frick. So finally, the reboot finally worked. The second reboot worked.
Well, now you're on. That's awesome.
Anyway.
So you have a Roku channel. I have Roku. So
yeah,
what is your channel?
Yeah, it's just called JA Creative New Media. And then so I've got to go meet with our guy on Friday, but I'm going to propose, that we're going to build a smart app for Samsung, Sony, pretty much any cut the cord, companies that we can get to. Like, if you go to Samsung, you have a Samsung Smart TV, you can see applications in there. So we're just going to really build a network at that point, build all the platforms. Apple just announced today they're opening the third parties now, so you can get your stuff on Apple now. So we're going to just build that and then just collect content and maybe do live stuff. We have the ability to do live stuff and obviously on demand, but we'll keep a live 24/7 stream going. And maybe we'll do shows geared around, we'll do regular shows, but then we'll do shows like this where we could, work with Blab and do an after show that's live with Blab, that goes on the network,
Awesome.
Jeff, have you been on Spreecast? Jen and I were on Spreecast a few years ago on a show, and this platform kind of reminds me of that, except it seems to be less proprietary. It's just a little bit easier to get on, and maybe because of the connection with Twitter, it seems to put it on steroids.
Yeah, the only thing I knew about Spreecast, they hit me up a couple of years ago when they first started off, and then I just started. If you ever Blog Talk Radio, the people at Blog Talk, they paid Seth Everett used to be over at Spreecast. Now he's with NBC Radio. We just started a show. I'm kind of producing it. Him and this other guy named Val. We do it. It's called The Week in Podcasting, and we just focus on podcasting shows on Blog Talk. And we just did our first show yesterday. It's going to be live tomorrow at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But Seth Everett's like the main host of that.
That's I used to go on his Spreecast.
Yeah. Then he just got a job at NBC Radio, so he's pretty busy now too.
Excellent. Well, there's so many platforms, and I was just made a list of what came into my inbox before we opened up this show, and one of the things, Comedy Central is now premiering an original series on Snapchat. It's called Swagasaurus with James Davis. So these new platforms seem to be a magnet for innovation as far as finding, new ways to put your stuff on.
Right.
So what do you think about? Comedy Central on Snapchat. That's certainly a good audience, because MTV drew 12 million viewers on Snapchat for the VMAs. So would you? But I haven't been on it. I kind of downloaded it into my device and then I took it off again. It just, Snapchat didn't seem to do it for me. What about you? What do you think about it?
I tried Snapchat and I just, got frustrated with it. I'm just like, it's not for me. I've been a big Twitter guy.
Yeah.
It came out, obviously. And then, when Periscope hit, I've always been into streaming. It was like when Periscope came out, it was really nothing new, because Ustream, I got the beta test Ustream in 2006. I was working with artists and trying to build their platforms and get them exposure on the internet. So, but they came out with an application just like the same thing that Periscope came out. It just never took off. And then Periscope just came out, or Meerkat, and then obviously Periscope afterwards. And I'm like, this is really nothing new, but it's more cost effective now because of your price plans with the LTE and AT&T and Verizon. You can stream a little bit better with your plans now. Right.
And of course, when you first started out, Jennifer, none of these were available. So from the internet
wasn't around. Sorry, that's really good stuff.
But from the Hollywood perspective,
internet wasn't
these
around.
platforms kind of changed the game a bit, don't they?
Pardon me?
From a Hollywood perspective, these platforms kind of changed the game a little bit, don't they?
Oh yeah. And when internet became very, very do or die, a lot of the Universal at the time got together with a bunch of us and said we need to do some social media marketing, and they had no clue what it really was. But with Netflix, they were saying the movie theaters are going to empty out and everything else. And of course that didn't happen. No. We were talking with Warren before. It just meant that they had to step up their game instead of just running an ad on the Super Bowl, about the next new movie or the next new tentpole. They had to, stream it and also have, people from around the world, when they were doing their little junkets and question and answers and interviews, they would then take that and put it on Twitter and Facebook and things like that, or create Facebook pages or LinkedIn pages. And so eventually they got it. Debbie and I are dealing right now with the gaming people to get it.
Yeah. It's still, the world is still analog for the most part, but at least with the entertainment industry, some of it is evolving. But I think it's the younger ones that are actually forcing it, because we have the YouTube millionaires and the Vine stars. I don't know if you've been on Vine, but some of what those guys can do in 6 seconds is brilliant. I mean, James Corden was in Vine, had some Vine stars on his show not that long ago, and they're really well done little vignettes. I can see where, some of these younger guys are going to really push everybody else to kind of get with the program.
Yeah, I'm trying to read.
Yeah,
I got it.
I know part.
I'm like, oh.
Yeah, mystery age. Yeah, thanks, John.
There goes the age again.
Yeah, it's. I mean, nobody lives on. Well, I shouldn't say that. Nobody lives online more than I do. But I mean, Jennifer knows that I live online. I mean, this is my home. You know, I'm okay as long as I have coffee, the odd beer, some chocolate, maybe popcorn, and some oranges, and the internet. I'm happy.
What kind of beer do you like?
Gotta have internet before anything else.
What beer do you like?
Yeah.
What beer do I like?
Yeah.
Sapporo. That's my favorite.
I've been getting the IPAs, but they're a little little bitter. I have to go back to some regular beer.
I like Sapporo. I like. I'll drink Heineken when anything around is an import, is a domestic. But I prefer the microbrewers and the
really
ales.
good. Dogfish brand.
Oh,
yeah, that's good.
I haven't had that.
Yeah, it's very good. Try it.
There's a place. Jennifer took me to a place in Phoenix that I dream about at night. It's like a warehouse full of beer. And
the Canadians down here, because in the area I live, most of them have winter homes here, so they don't winter in Canada. They winter in Phoenix, which is nice. And anyways, they call it the grocery store.
Yeah.
It's Total Wine or Bevmo.
Bevmo, yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah,
she getting the name. I only know by the grocery store. So Roxanne likes Merlot, and Travis. Oops, I got a little notification that blocked Belgian.
Belgian forever.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad either.
And then you have a vodka that you like.
I can't do Merlot.
It's so hard to find.
I did vodka Saturday night. I ended up on doing karaoke House of Pain Jump Around. So,
see, now that is my drink.
Vodka, yeah. What is it called? Yeah. Single malt?
Yeah, single malt vodka. It's out of Russia. And then basically potato vodka. I mean, I go for the high-end vodkas. So, and people will say, well, you know, you could do Svatka or you can do this. And I'm like, I'll do those. But no, single malt. I have to have it imported in. We have
that's going to be our next Blab, guys, according to Roxanne. I think we need to do it on booze.
Booze. Hey, you know.
You have all of Blab in here probably, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Does anybody here have a problem with Blab? No.
Well, I'll tell you, I'll need another bottle of beer just to watch Stephen Colbert again. Did you watch last night?
No.
The reviews were, when I looked at the rap coming in my feed and everything, and everybody's like all gaga over the show and the best jokes. And I watched it front to finish, and I'm like, is that it? Even George Clooney couldn't save him for me. I thought it was
so how did he
old and boring, and then thank God James Corden comes on after, because the thing with James Corden, he is the total best out of all the late night. You can't even hear half a show because you're laughing so hard. So it was good to have him come after Colbert, because it made me forget about Colbert.
So how did he hold himself? I mean, you know, because he's always had that stick on, you know, Comedy Central. So
he's got to go back to that character, or I can't. But some people seem to like him. Maybe they liked him because he was there. But I don't see. I mean, it seemed hard for George Clooney to pull it up. It was just probably the best part was him downing 2 bags of Oreos while trying to talk about Donald Trump, which I've heard just way too much about, you know. But I didn't find him funny at all. I mean, Seth Meyers is okay. I mean, I don't think he's as funny as Fallon or Kimmel, But let's just say he's half of what Seth Meyers is.
Yeah, I didn't know why CBS went. He's 50, 52? I don't know why they went so with him, since they replaced Letterman.
Yeah, because he's another white male, maybe?
What's that?
Because he's another white male, maybe?
I don't know.
Oh, did I say that out loud?
There's some risk. Fallon was, did the late show or whatever, and he's 41, 42, something like that. But still pretty young. Yeah. But why pick someone that's 52? And you're gonna have to probably replay. I don't think it's gonna last. Truthfully,
I think they should give one to Leslie Jones from SNL. She is a hoot.
Oh yeah, she's hilarious.
I think she would kill it.
They should. They should definitely get female for sure. Because you have the two Jimmys now, and they should have did something to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I like I said when they picked him, I'm like, I love that guy, but it's just like I don't see him lasting at all.
If you haven't seen James Corden, oh my God, you have. Let's just say, after the yawn fest that was the Colbert Show, you jump into James Corden, and what is he doing? He's in a car with a pizza guy taking pizza deliveries, and they're going. This is like surprising people off in their own houses, and there comes to the door, and he says, you have a choice. You can take the pizza that you ordered, or you can take what's in the mystery box. And oh my God, that was so funny. It was so funny because it's off the cuff. It's people don't expect it.
Right.
And he did one show where he broadcast it right in somebody's living room. He was knocking on doors before he found the right house. The right house meaning somebody would let him in.
Right.
And he brought the entire show in. And when you've got Reggie Watts as your band leader, oh my God, his show is the best.
In my old age, I'm becoming more and more. I don't stay up anymore. I get up like at 5:30 in the morning. If I do stay late, it pays the price. I stayed out on Saturday night. I went about with a bunch of my old music industry friends, and we ended up in a bar doing karaoke. They have this live band at Universal City Walk, Orlando. So they back you up with a live band. So it was a lot of fun, but I didn't get in until 2:30. And then the guy I was rooming with, he got lost. He was so drunk, I had to go find him. I couldn't find him.
There's always one.
There's always one. He went crazy. And he just went crazy. And I called him, I texted him, I was like, I don't have time for this. I need to go to sleep. I'm old. And so the door knocks, security guard carries him in. And he goes, "Does this guy belong to you?" And I'm like, yeah, I guess so. I just set him over there. And then the next morning he wakes me up and says, "What happened last night?" "I don't remember anything." I'm like, well, good thing. Because you got lost.
That's when you make really good stuff up.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you're going to have to, your girlfriend or your wife, you're going to have to explain a lot.
Who's in your tattoo parlor?
Yeah, I didn't do anything bad, so I think.
There's a small part of me that does that kind of stuff. We used to take them to Universal Hollywood, and we would sign contracts and then take them up. And just like that, they would have the live bands, or we'd take them to BB King, or we'd take them to, the Dueling Pianos bar, something Coyote, and I can't remember it now. My age is showing again. But we get them really, really drunk. And then the next day, early in the morning, as soon as Jurassic Park ride opened, I have the business suit on. I have my own locker. I take off the clothes, put on Universal shorts and a T-shirt, put my hair up, put the poncho on, and we go and take a picture, as evidence, basically.
Oh my gosh.
And these people would be green, and some of the things we told them they did and stuff like that. But it was fun, and we originally, told them the truth afterwards, so it wasn't like we let them think they did that. But there was some good ones.
There were
some people we didn't have to tell them a lie about because they did.
You didn't keep a lot of friends after that, right?
Oh no, they're still friends to this day. But as long as you let them know they didn't do it, they're relieved.
Right. Yeah, I didn't get out much, so that was good for me to get out, do that. It was long overdue with all those guys. But I don't get crazy. I've had my crazy days in my early.
Yeah, I probably still have a few wild oats in me, but I've yeah, you kind of slow down a bit. Although speaking of
everybody's got their own ringtone, damn it.
that's right.
That's the native calling me.
Eye of the tiger.
Yep.
So what do you think, Jen, what did you think of Fear of the Walking Dead?
I saw a little bit of, I'm still on the cusp.
Yeah.
I like it. You know, it kind of gives precedence of what happened before. But you know why I follow Walking Dead. It's because of Frank. Yeah, from Darabont. So it's like, you know, it got me hooked on Walking Dead. And while I was in Canada, all I did is bitch to Deb. I can't get it. I can't get it. They want me to buy it.
Well, just to preface, you know, the internet in Canada sucks. It's worse than third world.
Well, Calgary wasn't too bad, but I still didn't get some of the.
We can't get Pandora. We can't get Hulu. We can't get.
Yeah,
we have to get a virtual private network if we want to get anything online.
That's true. So
We have to get a back door on it. So maybe when we get a new government, but
don't get her started on that.
It's a whole different show.
But yeah, so and
who else sucks, Deb?
when I spent that time in the U.S., I didn't want to ever come back because you know, the internet there was so much choice down there. I mean, the concept of being able to watch a television show online on the network website, if you missed it, is something we don't have here. So, you know, that alone.
I haven't connected with Shaw and Calgary. That's about it.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But I mean, it could be worse, I guess. But at least you get to watch some of it. But but we don't get Pandora, so that app stopped working as soon as I crossed the border.
Oh yeah,
a lot of them did.
Now you got Apple Music.
Yeah.
I don't do Apple, so.
I would be.
You weren't making out too much today. I think every Blab was live streaming Apple event.
Yeah, I'm an Android gal, so.
I'm too deep into Apple to turn back. I wish I had I do have one PC in here. It's a TriCaster that runs on Windows, but everything else is Apple in here.
Although I have to say that I'm in a market for a new laptop and a desktop, and you know, because I've been kind of operating on mobile devices for the last couple of years, and the thought there's some new security nightmares that have been talked about Windows 10 that make me almost want to go to a Mac. But I mean, I'd have to be pretty damn desperate for that to happen, because I've tried Macs. I think you got to get used to it, right?
Yeah,
they are totally different.
I used to be a Windows person, and then I went Mac like in 2008, 9, and I tried to get on this PC with the TriCaster to do stuff when I'm doing like tech support with the people over at New Tech, and I get lost on the PC. I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's what you're used to.
Yeah.
The platforms are so different. But
editing on Apple has always been easy, and we used to do virtual TV shows. So in order to do that, you had to have an Apple back then. Yeah.
Yep.
Now, well, as long as you have the software on the PC, you can.
We had external hard drives, and we would have to have that much memory in order to do the show. Because we were taking 2 days worth of show, filming 8 cameras, condensing it into an hour show. So.
Well, and that's one of the things with the new platforms for, when you're working with the social platforms and some of the digital media, it's easy to work in with so-so internet on most of them, but when you're using video and music and, you've got all these big files, it's pretty hard not to really get by without gaming internet service these days.
Right.
You almost need that speed on everything. I'm afraid I don't have that at the moment because, but
well, as a company,
maybe a reason why I couldn't get in, but
we really moved over to the Adobe platform and cloud.
Yeah.
So we got the suite. So if my partner's in Nashville, he's editing or whatever, and I need to do something like correct audio or something, I just pull up the account and it's already right there. The session's already there. It's a really amazing thing. Or you can just go home, pull up the cloud and start editing out, right from the cloud. You can be on any device and it works pretty great.
Right. Yeah, I love the fact that you can save stuff and access it on multiple devices and not just have it on one anymore. Saves a lot of heartache.
Yes, you can have a lot of different little stations.
Yeah.
If I don't feel like coming in the office, I go up to my home office and start editing, So it's a pretty cool thing.
I love the idea of, how the smartphones and the tablets, have kind of replaced the bulky camera these days, and point and shoot and have almost better quality video and picture than you do on some of the cheaper cameras.
Yeah, I can't wait till the Android, iOS phones. When you can integrate a really high end camera into the input. They've tried it like doing wirelessly stuff, but it doesn't work with every application. I can't wait till they do an input. They do that with the audio. I did a hack with Periscope the other day, and a bunch of podcasters. How are you getting your board in the Periscope? And it was just like this. You can do audio. It's like an iRig. You just plug it directly in and plug your board into it, and it takes the audio. I can't wait till they start doing that with video stuff. It's going to really change everything once you get a high end camera.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. Yeah. It's and of course, you look at some of these platforms like Vine where you can put, I've just put 6-second videos of my cat and whatnot on there just to kind of test it out. But some of these people that are on there, those are high-end productions that they've got obviously shot several, they've done a lot of good editing on some of those 6-second shots.
Yeah. A lot of people, I did Vine there for a while, and it just, and I guess when they opened it up, you can upload from whatever you're editing on, Final Cut and, Premiere, whatever they're using. But there's some really talented people out there doing that.
Amazing. Yeah. They're fun to watch, some of those lines.
You have to watch them like 10 times. I crack up laughing like at the 9th time I finally get it. I'm like, oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, it can be a little addictive to watch.
Yeah, it was. I saw one the other day, and I think my niece posted it on Facebook. It was from Vine. I watched it, and I just kept watching. I think I watched it like 20 times because it was so good. Really creative.
There's quite a few.
And then there's some of the YouTube shows that, some of these YouTube stars like PewDiePie broke a world record the other day, the most subscribers of anybody on YouTube.
PewDiePie.
Yeah, a lot of those guys are getting mainstream media contracts now. They're getting
I only got that PewDiePie, whatever his name is, because I was listening to Howard Stern, And someone called in and he goes, PewDiePie, who's PewDiePie?
He's like, you better know who that is because he's got more followers than you do. Yeah.
Howard Stern went off on I played it on one of my shows a couple of months ago. He went off on podcasters. He says, if you want a real career, you get into broadcasting.
Right. Totally,
devaluing podcasting. Because I went out to the podcast movement in Dallas, it was a month and a half ago, and there's a lot of heavy hitter podcasters there. What's the guy's name? The guy just interviewed Obama, Mark. Oh my gosh, it'll come to me in a minute. He was a comedian, and his career was falling. He started podcasting in 2008. Mark Maron.
I cheated.
Yeah, he was out there, and
I'm gonna step away for a second because I got to take care of this, Deb. It's gaming.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, but he was out there. But I mean, man, he's killing it. I mean, he got a TV show with what was it? The Eye something. It's on Netflix now. He's in his third season of it's kind of like Curb Your Enthusiasm, kind of. He's playing himself, and he does his podcast in his garage, and he's angry and gets in fights with people, and pretty fantastic. I'm hooked on it.
Yeah, some of these YouTube shows too. The one I really like is Superwoman.
Superwoman.
She's hilarious. Oh my God, I just love her show.
Is that an ABC show?
No, that's on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
It's
Superwoman?
It's Superwoman 2 is kind of like the.
Oh, okay.
Put it in the chat. Or I Superwoman I. That's kind of how it shows up on their YouTube channel, and she's hilarious.
I gave up on because I can stream to a lot of different platforms with this. I can do stuff live, and I was streaming to YouTube, but I had to do these commercial reads or play a commercial for advertisers, and they started ruling now if you're doing that on their platform, they want a cut of that money.
Yeah.
So I was just forget YouTube. Greedy suckers. I mean, they're only paying the people that are making money off YouTube right now. They're only paying them 8%.
Yeah.
Of what they're actually making off this person. I mean, it's a good stick if you don't have anything. You build something into something, but I think a lot of these guys they're going to get smart and take their following somewhere else where they can really monetize and make a whole lot more money.
Well, I think they are finding a way to monetize quite well. I mean, they're selling a lot of swag on their channels too, and
swag.
Their t-shirts or whatever, and they're doing a lot of other things, promos and events that they're making some money on, which is why I think they're called YouTube millionaires. Probably not from the money they're making from YouTube, but more because of the money they're making from their following.
Right, I think an old school manager is if I was managing one of those people, I go, we're out. We're taking everybody with us. We're going to our private inn. Even if we get 2% of them following us, we're going to make more money than you ever imagined. Let's go.
And what is Travis saying? If platforms are going to open indie apps for content, i.e. Apple, they're going to have to lose their leverage. Yeah. It's probably true. Yeah. I mean, you hear some people kind of trash some of these platforms and some of the younger stars, but really, I like to learn from them because they're doing something right.
Well, this is what I've discovered. I've been building, for a lot of music artists, working with different companies. I mean, if you ever heard of Wowzer, they built Periscope. They built a lot of streaming platforms. But a lot of these entities, Blab's a great platform, but everybody's like, oh, I love Blab, but it says on the left hand screen Blab beta. So what does that mean? They're going to get you hooked in some way, somehow. They're going to start rolling ads, or they're going to charge you for this platform. You can only do something for free for so long,
right?
Until they stick to it.
Which is kind of what happened with Spreecast too.
Yes, and so and that's what I say. This is a great platform, but when is it going to flip over? Yeah. And they're going to start charging. Hey, for you record your show, you can get it in full HD 1080 for $39.95 a month. Yeah. And add all these different things to it. Where an artist that has the money, I said, why don't you invest in your own platform, your own Periscope, and integrate it with your website, you can make a whole lot more money.
Yeah.
Instead of using someone else's platform, you white label it and put your name on it, and it's iOS, Android, boom. You want to stream, your fans want to stream on a platform that's your platform, have them stream on. Like someone like Taylor Swift would be, if she did something like that, it'd be incredible. I mean, she's the only one who could probably do it right now.
Well, of course, when you build your own platform, I'm not a techie, and I imagine the technological aspect from behind the scenes that you need to put together so that it doesn't crash with all the uploads and everything is quite daunting, which is why using YouTube and some of these other platforms seems to work. But definitely if you have the capability of building the platform where you can make it seamless, where you can have, I mean, I don't even know how YouTube doesn't crash. You figure how many videos are uploading to YouTube every second. How does it not crash?
The servers all in play, you know? They got a lot of servers.
I'm back. It was good news.
Oh, good. We could use some good news.
Yeah. So I'm going to Gila River tomorrow. Yeah.
Awesome.
Hey guys, I'm gonna finish editing this thing real quick. And
okay. Well, it was wonderful to meet you.
I followed you guys and everything. So
right back at you.
Yeah.
And good luck in the. Debbie, you're still in the entertainment industry too?
Yeah, I'm working in the communication side of things.
Okay. I followed you on Twitter, so let's stay in contact. And
are you on Stage 32?
Who?
You.
No.
Oh, that's another platform that's just for creatives, for people in the music, film, and theater industry. It's
I should go check it out then.
Great network. Stage32.com.
All right. Well, I followed you guys. Let's stay in contact. It was great.
All right.
All right. Take care. Nice meeting you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm finally on, but I think we covered a lot of things.
I'm reading again.
You're reading again?
Yeah.
It was great that I know that with Warren, he's really good with knowing what to talk about on all the platforms. So I'm glad he was on at the beginning of the show. So we kind of hope to do some more entertainment chats like this in the future. And one of the things we have, Jennifer and I did start, is we dusted off her old blog, her old My Movie Talk blog, and now it's Our Movie Talk because that was the domain that we could get. And so if ourmovietalk.com, if you want to see some of our movie reviews, and Our Movie Talk is the Twitter handle as well. And so we're working on a few projects on the entertainment side. And anyway, I think that we could probably close out where we could be on here all day. I think we've been on here for an hour, at least an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So maybe we should call it a day.
Yeah. So no doubt I have a